Hey, check it out. It's that time of the month. April snowstorm. Yep. So, hopefully the camera does its white balance like it's supposed to. And we'll come over here and do VEDA for today, Thursday, April 11th. I just want to start off with a quick little story today because something very strange happened to me on the way home from work, or at least strange for my experience, and that I was waiting at a bus shelter for the bus. It's obviously pretty crummy weather out today, but I was at the shelter, I was dressed for the weather, just waiting for the bus. And one of the cars that was stopped at the light, which is right in front of my bus shelter, rolled down the window and then asked if I would like a ride home. And this is not a neighbor of mine. This was not someone I work with. This was a complete and total stranger. Now, it was a woman, and she looked like she was maybe in her late 30s, and she was white, and she looked perfectly normal, and her car looked perfectly normal. And I said, no thank you, I'm fine waiting for the bus. It's only going to be another minute. And she said, okay, and she rolled up her window. But that was, to me, a very strange experience to actually be offered a ride by a complete stranger. Just going, yeah, no. Really kind of felt like one of those, hey, little girl, want some candy kind of moments. And I think the strangest thing was that when the light turned green and she did drive away, she didn't actually go down the street that the bus stop that was on and the route that the bus takes. She actually turned. And so she wasn't even going down the street where I live. So yeah, extra creepy and no thanks. Anyway, moving on to today's topic. It's Throwback Thursday again, and so today I want to talk about Jin, my samurai from Samurai Champloo. Oh, yes, I have to find my path. No less walk on earth, water and fire. The elements compose a man. Now, my friend Adam was really into Samurai Champloo and was going to cosplay Mugen. And so he got me into the series, and I fell in love with it. It's really neat, interesting, anachronistic kind of thing, if that's what you're into. Basically, it's made by the same people who did Cowboy Bebop, so if that's your thing, definitely check out Samurai Champloo. It's a really great anime. So we both did a lot of research on the clothing and on the props that the characters have. And so we didn't obviously make these super historically accurate, but we did try to walk a decent line between something that we could afford and actually make and something which was really accurate for the time period in Japan. And I think we did a pretty good job. I did all of the sewing on mine and most of the sewing on his costume, and then he took care of the props for both of us. This was my first wig styling job as well. And because I was super cheap, I bought a curly black wig because it was the cheapest thing that I could find online that didn't have bangs, and straightened it. And then I did the ponytail and back that Jin has. And that is when I learned the hard lesson that wig heads are smaller than real human heads. That was fun. Doing all that work, gluing the ponytail in and having it look perfect, and then the wig doesn't fit on my head anymore. It's good times. So I started that out, and we were both really excited because we were going to take our costumes to Anime North. We were hoping to do the masquerade, and in the end it didn't really work out, but we tried. And we really wanted to have our costumes seen by the other Samurai Champloo fans because we put so many details and so much little stuff into those things. And we got there, and nobody cared. I want to say that all of the Samurai Champloo fans who were at Anime North that year were already wearing Samurai Champloo costumes, because there were definitely a handful of other Mugen and Jin characters and a handful of foos as well. And we only got our picture taken a couple of times. So between that and we had arranged a small private shoot with a friend of Adam's, so we at least get our costumes documented and get some really nice photos out of it for all the work we put into it. And apparently, the story goes that she accidentally erased all of the photos. I don't know. So I have one photo, which looks nice, and then my wig's blowing around, and that's no fun. So yeah, this is a costume I put a lot of work into, and which I have almost no photos of, and I only wore it the once. After that, Adam stopped going to cons, and I never found another group to do the costumes with. Samurai Champloo only actually has 3 main characters, Mugen, Jin, and Fu. There's a lot of side characters, obviously, but they never show up more than like 2 episodes, maybe 3. So doing a really big group is really hard to do. You really just need the core 3 members. Couldn't find those. I've never reworn it. And because I've never reworn it, and at this point I'm not going to, I am selling my Jin costume. I will put details in the doobly-doo if it is something that you think you might be interested in purchasing. Alright, that's enough for today. I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night. Bye-bye. What you doing, Hugo?